This is how you master a new skill. This is what I do all the time. Whether I want to learn how to do Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, social media, whether I want to learn how to build a supplement business, a content business, or launch this very podcast. If we can binge on Netflix, we sure as heck can binge to learn a new skill.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
What's up, you fighting entrepreneurs? This is Anik Singal, your host for the Fighting Entrepreneur podcast, back yet again with another episode. Today, I really want to talk to you about binge learning, and I'll tell you a backstory of where it came from. There's actually two backstories to why I thought about doing an episode on this, because honestly, I would tell you that the greatest skill I have that has led to my success is my ability to learn new things. There is a reason I call my company Lurn. Okay, that word means a lot to me. And I see way too many people in the world approaching learning incorrectly. That this isn't just about entrepreneurship. I don't care if you bought a new dog and you're trying to learn how to train that dog. People just are approaching how to master a skill. They're not approaching it properly. Now, I don't have a PhD in this. All right, I'm going to give you what I do. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I hope it works. I don't know, but it's worked like a charm for me again and again. So I'll tell you where the story comes from. A very good friend of mine growing up, she's still a good friend of mine. She messaged me recently, and by the way, I'm not like ripping on her or anything. She's an awesome person. So it's just this podcast episode was inspired through a quick conversation we had. And so she doesn't know anything about this online marketing world, okay, other than the fact that I'm in it, and that she knows other people in it, but she's never tried it, never felt like it. She's a teacher. She's just in a different life. But suddenly, recently, she's really gotten into fitness, and she's like working out like crazy. I see the picture she's putting up. She's gone nuts. She like gets up at like 5 or whatever, like goes to the gym. And so she messaged me the other day and she said, hey, I've really gotten into fitness and I have this idea for like these different tank tops and that I want to sell. And I was thinking maybe I can turn it into a business. So what do you suggest? So we have a course at Lurn, and I said, I suggest this course, and you know what, we've been friends for years, and you're awesome, and I love you, and so I'm going to hand the course to you for free. Like, I'll get it over to you. And, I gave her the course, and a few days later, she messaged, and she's confused, and, she said that I don't think this course was made for someone who's a newbie. Like, all this stuff is way over my head. And I thought, okay, but the thing is, it was made for a newbie, and there's been a lot of success from this course. By the way, the course, in case you're wondering what it is, it was called Print Profits. It's not inside Learn Nation yet, but coming soon. So I kind of thought about that, and so my advice back to her was very simple. I said, I challenge you to just go through it. Go through the motion, finish the course. And she goes, well, just answer one question, should I do this on Amazon or what should I do? And I said, no, you need a Shopify store. And she comes back and says, well, see, even that word like Shopify, it's way over my head. I don't know what that is. And that was where I said, okay, see, listen, here's what you need to do. You need to go spend some time on YouTube or a Google, and you need to just start consuming content in a massive way. And you know what? Before you know it, these words will carry some meaning to you. Because I realized something, right? And I'm not picking on her at all, but here she has an opportunity to message with me directly. And I'm going to be, I'm not going to spend my time explaining what Shopify is, right? That's not the right way to learn from someone like myself. So, of course, she's awesome. And she's like, you're right. Like, I'm going to go, I'll be back later. Like, I'm going to go do this. And that got me thinking, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, I wonder if this is a common thing, because I know that I always teach our students. I always teach students. I'm like, look, there's no such thing as a wrong question, but there's such a thing as a stupid question for the wrong time, right? Or I should probably say there's such a thing as the wrong question given the time or the person you're speaking to. So I have this happen to me all the time. I'm walking through the airport, or I'm, just couple of days ago, I was in Baltimore. I'm walking up the street and someone recognizes me and comes running up to say hi. And it's like, you have that 15, 20 seconds when you meet someone. What question are you really going to ask them? Do you really think you're going to ask me the question of like, hey, Anik, just, tell me how I can make some money online? It's like, really? Like, that's not the right question for that time. Like, the smarter the question you ask me, the better the answer I can give you. And the more specific the question you ask me, the more specific the answer and the more value you can get from that time. But anyways, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. So it all comes down to really doing what you can on your own to learn first, and using the time with other people wisely to ask expert questions. So something came up in my life the last few weeks. So, I like to try to give you guys a peek into what I'm doing and what we're doing here at Lurn Nation and what's going on in my life. So I've been really blessed here at Lurn, with this amazing center we built. It's so awesome. Like, I'm so excited about what we're doing with the Lurn Center. And this was the year that we decided, hey, you know what? We're going to really start to try to sell memberships to it and let people come use the center the way we do. And it has been amazing. Like, the reception from the community has just been nuts. The videos we're putting out have gone viral. People are asking us, like, people from Atlanta are messaging saying, come to Atlanta. We got San Diego saying, come to San Diego. We got Austin. Like, it's awesome, right? Toronto, Vancouver. Like, people are just, like, they want the Lurn Center in their city, which, hey, we're coming. Don't worry. But I hit a bit of a wall a week and a half or 2 weeks into the promotion because it just wasn't, I just felt like I don't really know the answers to, I'm out here selling something, but I never took the time to do what I do best, which is like learn everything about it, right? So I'm trying to do something that I don't know a lot about, which is this whole notion of co-work spaces. Now, we're not a co-work space. I want to put that out there right away. I don't want to be another co-work space, but we are a community of people that come together to learn a specific topic, and there are desks there. You can work from there if you want. So whatever other people who run co-work spaces would know would be valid knowledge for me. And so that led me to like, let's go learn, right? Let me go learn. And this is where I subconsciously kicked off into what I'm so good at, which is mastering a new skill. And I saw me doing it, and I was like, okay, be very aware of what you're doing so we can make a podcast episode about it for you. And so it's Binge Learning, 4 steps I use to hack into mastering any new skills. This is exactly what I did. Okay, step 1, R&D. So when I decided I wanted to really learn how to run a facility like this, like what to do, how to price it, what benefits could I offer that would be absolutely blow people away and make a huge change in their lives, how could I inspire, empower, and connect? Like, how could I do all this? So I started doing my R&D. The R&D phase is when you just go out and you just gather. Like, you don't actually even have to watch anything or listen to anything or read anything. You're just gathering. Like, I'll create a notepad file on my laptop or a folder or a Google Drive document, and I just start copying, pasting like URLs to blog posts, podcasts that I find, YouTube videos, courses, free courses, Google search results. I mean, I just go nuts. Now, here's the cool thing. 80% of what I put in there, I'll probably never even look at. But I'm just gathering, all right? Just R&D, like gathering. I'm just really trying to figure out what is out there. And so that's step 1, and I saw myself do it. I couldn't believe that co-working is such a mature environment. I had no idea. There's entire podcasts devoted to it. There's entire blogs devoted to it. So someone on my team who is way better at R&D than me, he actually has sent me a few links and things that kind of got me started. Those links, they got me going. And then from there, I just started pulling that thread and I started finding new things and other things. And I started clicking, and I did this click thing where I just like start click one to the next, one to the next, one to the next, one to the next. My wife is actually the best at this. She I don't know, she starts clicking one place where she ends up and the stuff she learns in the process. All right, so step 1 is you just got to gather all of the information into one place. Step number 2, I call it shifting. So step number 2, you have to shift through all the material. Okay, I don't know why I call it that. Probably just not even the right word, but whatever, go with it, okay? So now I start to like compartmentalize things and I start to say like, okay, I love listening to podcasts. So here's all the podcasts, here's all the YouTube videos, here's all the blog posts. I'll read a few of the blog posts and I'll skim things. And so let's say I kind of skim a blog post and I love it. then I think, wow, I really like this person. Do they have a podcast? Oh, well, oh, look at that. They do have a podcast. Do they have a course? Oh, look at that. They have a book. Oh, wow. Okay, let me grab that book. So what I'm trying to do when I'm shifting is I'm trying to find one person, for now, just one person. Sometimes it's 2 or 3, but for the moment, one who I'm going to dive into. All right, I'm trying to find the one person whose voice, whose training, whose style, whose content is resonating with me. Now, don't even pretend like you don't know what I mean, okay? You have this happen, that voice inside of you pops up and says, this is it, this is the person, this is the stuff. All right, so I've never had a moment where I don't find one person that I decide to do step 3 with, all right? So step 3, I dive deep into, I go into like 2, 3, 4 days. Like I disappear, man. I am telling you, I just consume information like a friggin' animal. I listen to podcast after podcast after podcast. I watch YouTube video after YouTube video. I read books. I skim books. I look at blog posts, and I'm out there. And if there's a term that someone uses I don't know, I go Google it. You know, sometimes from one person, I get led to another person who I find, or I just dive. I let it happen. It's a natural progression. I just let it happen. The biggest thing I do during the dive phase, this is where we're going to connect back to where I started the conversation today. And that is the biggest thing I do during the dive phase is I start writing out all my questions. See, listen, I'm addressing all the generic stuff. I'm addressing all the easy stuff why should I bother asking experts stuff that is already available for free out there, and there's so much information available for free now. So I start writing all those things down, and I have a list of amazing, targeted, specific, actionable, kick butt questions. And then step number 4, I find an expert. All right, so step number 4, I call it ask. I find myself a coach, a consultant, someone who's an expert in the space, and the first thing I do is I plop money on the table. I pay them for their time. I don't abuse it. I don't try to keep hammering after them on Facebook or whatever. I could. A lot of times these people know who I am, and they're gracious enough. I'm blessed to be where I am today in my life that they'll say, Anik, I'll help you out for free. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to take money from you. And I say, no. If I'm going to devote myself to this skill, okay, I'm going to put my skin in the game. I'm going to pay you because that's the only way I'm going to take your value, your knowledge seriously. So I pay them their hourly rate, and I say, I'm going to book you for 2 or 3 hours. Here's my money. Can we schedule a call? They say, sure. I get on the phone. Boom, 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 boom. Question, specific to the point, no generics. Before I know it, ta-da, I've mastered the skill. The same thing happened now with what I was trying to do with the Lurn Center. I did the exact same thing to my R&D. I found someone, I was shifting through all the content. I found one particular person, really liked this person, dove deep. I probably must have listened to 10 podcasts, read his book, looked at multiple blog posts he's put up. And then guess what I found? I found a link to book him for a consultation session. That's exactly what I did. And now I'm going to go in with pointed questions. He's going to answer my questions. Even though I booked 3 hours, I bet you I won't need more than 30 minutes. And that is going to turn into a multi-million-dollar empire for me in one day in the future. This is how you master a new skill. This is what I do all the time. Whether I want to learn how to do Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, social media, whether I want to learn how to build a supplement business, a content business, or launch this very podcast. It's no shocker that this podcast has been doing so well because I hacked my way into mastering this skill. I'm still doing it, but man, from where I was 2 months ago to where I am today, it's almost like I could be considered a podcasting expert. Not there yet, but I hacked my way into it. So I did it all through binge learning. If we can binge on Netflix, we sure as heck can binge to learn a new skill. All right? Come on, go make it happen. What's the skill you need to learn right now? If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you leave it in the comments below. Hit subscribe, click the little bell. All right, and make sure you go to iTunes, click subscribe, and also leave us a review there. It helps us with our rankings. We're shooting to the top. This podcast is crushing it. And make sure you come join us at Lurn, LURN.com. Join us. If you haven't logged in a long time, come on, go log in. Keep learning. We got amazing courses in there to help you binge and help you learn new skills. Come join us because remember, with entrepreneurs, we need 3 things. We need to be inspired, we need to be empowered, and we need to be connected. All 3 is exactly why we've built spelled Lurn. So LURN.com. Come on over, all right? And we'll see you in there. This is Anik Singal signing off, reminding you when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. I will see you on the next episode of The Fighting Entrepreneur.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.